Stay tuned for another Newscenter88 presentation on WMUL FM Huntington. And now, the Newscenter88 Weekend Recap, covering the top stories around the globe, tri-state, and across the campus of Marshall University. And now, the Newscenter88 Weekend Recap team.
Hello, and welcome to the Newscenter88 Weekend Recap. I'm Luke Hamilton.
And I'm Emma Johnson. Waylon Smith will be in with this week's weather forecast, and John Boggess will be in with a recap of the week that was in Marshall athletics.
Now, this week's top story. Decorated football star O.J. Simpson died on Wednesday. He was 76. Simpson was famously acquitted of charges that he killed his former wife and her friend, but wound up in prison years later in an unrelated case. His family made an announcement Thursday in a statement on Simpson's X account. Simpson said last year that he was battling prostate cancer, and Simpson's gridiron legacy was forever overshadowed by the 1994 knife slayings of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. A criminal court jury found him not guilty of murder, but a separate civil trial jury found him liable. Simpson's 9-year prison stint in Nevada was for the armed robbery of 2 sports memorabilia dealers.
Israel's military says it's prepared to defend the country and strike back if Iran decides to retaliate for this month's deadly airstrike on the Iranian territory in Syria. Tehran holds Israel responsible for the attack, which the U.S. military believes Israel carried out. Israel has not commented on it, but the increased tensions have sparked concern that Israel's war against Hamas could spill over into the rest of the Middle East. The war has pushed Gaza into a humanitarian crisis, leaving more than 1 million people on the brink of starvation after Israeli forces pulled back from Han Yunis. Palestinians returned home to find their homes destroyed.
شوية في البيت لكن قعدنا فيه شوية يعني أحسن من المواصي وأحسن من الخيم والأجواء اللي إحنا فيها لسه يمكن عرادم بيوتنا أهون ما نقعد في مكان تاني.
The top general for U.S. forces in Europe told Congress that Ukraine will be outgunned 10-1 by Russia within a matter of weeks if Congress does not find a way to approve sending more ammunition and weapons to Kyiv soon. The testimony on Wednesday from Army General Christopher Cavoli, head of U.S. European Command, comes as Congress enters a pivotal week for Ukraine. However, there is no guarantee aid will be increased in time, as internal Republican disagreements over supporting the bill remain, and House Speaker Mike Johnson faces a potential ouster over his support for the bill.
Coming up next, 10 children injured in a West Virginia school bus crash. Stay with us for a recap of news from across the tri-state when Weekend Recap returns right after this.
Touchdown, Thundering Herd!
Want to know the time of our next sports broadcast? Go to our website at www.marshall.edu/WMUL and find the entire sports schedule on the front page. You can even go one step further and listen to the game live right off our website, www.marshall.edu/WMUL. Yet another reason why we're the worldwide leader of Marshall sports coverage, WMUL 88.1.
Welcome back to Weekend Recap. I'm Luke Hamilton.
And I'm Emma Johnson. Finals week is right around the corner at Marshall, and students are already dreading it. As Trevor Smith reports, there's a group on campus designed to help stress levels.
As the end of the semester approaches, Marshall students may be starting to feel extra stress and burned out.
Burnout is real.
To combat that feeling, 2 grad students have started a therapy group, Bounce Back from Burnout. Catherine Lambert, one of the therapy group's leaders, says the group's purpose is to help overwhelmed students.
So this is kind of just a group for everybody to get together and share the experiences of college life and how difficult that can be, and be around people who understand.
Hannah Dorsey, who also helps lead the group, says it helps more than just the students within the group.
This group has been so good for me, even just kind of like leading some of it. I've learned a lot, and I hope that the group members are learning a lot, and it's helping me like time management and kind of get over like the fear of like presenting stuff. So I feel like it's helping me just as much as hopefully it's helping everybody else.
Students who have joined the group says it helps just knowing someone is listening to them.
The fact that like I'm being heard kind of helps out already a lot.
It helps a lot with how I'm feeling like overworked all the time and just, constantly stressed. It helps to just relieve that stress coming here every week.
The group also stands as a way for men to explore their mental health.
I never have done anything with my mental health before, so I guess it's because, I'm a dude. It's like something that is kind of I guess, frowned upon a bit. But it's pretty cool to actually come to something like this and talk about stuff.
Men's mental health is something that is not talked about enough or not prioritized. And so it was really exciting for me to see that there were so many guys showing up and attending and having fun and being open with each other.
This isn't typical one-on-one therapy sitting on a couch, but instead group activities and discussions intended for the students to use outside of group itself.
So today we did all about the senses. We mostly focused on the 5 senses. And then it's really good, like focusing on the senses to like kind of ground you and bring you back into the present moment. It helps calm you down, relieve some anxiety and some pressure. So hopefully we can give people those skills so when they are feeling stressed out, they're able to like calm back down and self-regulate.
Students seeking a way to lower their stress are encouraged by the group to join them. For Newscenter88, I'm Trevor Smith.
Thanks, Trevor. Bounce Back from Burnout meets on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. in East Hall, room 115.
Officials say 9 students were injured when a West Virginia school bus hit a tree. Putnam County Sheriff Bobby Eggleton told news outlets that one student was in serious condition Wednesday and will need surgery, but the other injuries appeared to be minor. He said it appears the bus driver experienced a medical emergency that led to the crash. The driver also has taken to the hospital, but an updated condition wasn't available. Officials said there were more than 24 students on the bus when it crashed, and that most were elementary or middle school students.
Coming up next, Biden administration sets first ever limits on forever chemicals in drinking water. Stay with us for a recap of news from around the nation when Weekend Recap returns right after this.
So what does WMUL mean by the cutting edge? Well, not this, but this.
Marshall University students say it's not easy being Greek.
Nope, not this either. Whew. But this? Oh yeah. And finally, 0% this, but 100% this.
Got it! Touchdown! Thundering Herd!
So the cutting edge means award-winning news, music, and sports. Not, cutting stuff. 88.1.
Welcome back to Weekend Recap. I'm Luke Hamilton.
And I'm Emma Johnson. The near-total solar eclipse paired with warm weather gave Marshall students the perfect chance to get outside and enjoy the once-in-a-lifetime event as a community. Luke was joined by Trevor Smith and Emma Gallus on Buskirk Field, along with hundreds of students who used the day to relieve stress as finals quickly approach.
Marshall students always take advantage of sunny days, but the near-total solar eclipse filled Buskirk Field with eyes in the sky. The Marshall Astronomy Club and Society of Physics students paired up for the event and gave out free eclipse glasses.
Oh my gosh, it is so awesome. So we had around 1,500 eclipse glasses to hand out for free, and they were gone within 30 minutes.
Some even came prepared for the shortage of glasses by creating cheap devices at home.
This is a pinhole projector. Basically, you can just take any piece of like cardboard trash, cut out a viewing hole, and then you want to take like a piece of foil, put a little pinhole in it, tape everything down, and then you can actually see the eclipse happening without damage to your eyes because you're not looking directly at the sun.
Marshall's campus became a hotspot for every age group to enjoy the celestial display.
I'm hoping it's getting cold because I'm really, really hot right now. And also, I'm super excited because I can just sit in my chair and watch the eclipse happen.
As hundreds of students came outside of Marshall's campus today with nice weather, it gave them an excuse to spend some time with their peers.
It's about this. I'm pretending like I can see, but I know I'm pointing at hundreds of people, and just the interaction, we don't get this every day, you know? And to see everyone excited, it's beautiful.
Students say it was a perfect day, with the end of the semester right around the corner.
It's really nice, especially because it's been so cold lately. So, I mean, it's kind of like a touch of summer fun in the middle of a hard semester.
Yeah, it's really cool to see everyone coming together, especially right before finals. It's like stress relieving for sure. It's really cool.
People often associate rare natural events as a sign of the end times, but the experience was enough for this Marshall student to leave all second thoughts behind.
I say if it is the end of the world, then it's going to be a fun end, because we're all here together and having fun.
Although Huntington barely missed the path of totality, it may be the last time current students at Marshall will see anything quite like it in this area.
Coming up, Waylon Smith will be in with this week's weather forecast, and John Boggess will join us with the latest on Marshall athletics. Stay with us.
This song is being played on a didgeridoo. A didgeridoo is an instrument made by Indigenous Australians. WMUL doesn't have any songs with didgeridoos in them. But what we do have is the Tri-State's largest variety of music, from alternative to hip-hop, jazz to blues, and much more. Plus, our selection is constantly being updated with the latest tunes. So, maybe one day we will have a song with a didgeridoo in it. 88.1 WMUL FM.
Welcome back to Weekend Recap. I'm Waylon Smith, and now it's time for this week's weather forecast. Spring was in full swing this week with off and on heavy showers and multiple weather advisories, including flooding and tornado advisories on both Monday and Thursday. As we look towards this coming week, we can expect some warmer weather with highs in the high 70s, but don't expect that rain to go anywhere just yet, with several days forecasted to have a high chance all throughout the week. We'll have to wait to see if these April showers really do bring any May flowers. Your weather word of the weekend is anemometer. According to weatherology.com, an anemometer is an instrument used to measure wind speed. The strongest wind speed ever recorded by an anemometer was 253 miles per hour during the passage of a cyclone on Barrow Island, Australia in 1996. And that does it for this week's weather forecast. Now John Boggess joins us with a recap of the week that was in Marshall athletics.
Thanks, Waylon. The Marshall women's basketball team announced yesterday that it is hiring D3 national champion coach Julie Folks to be the 9th head coach of the Thundering Herd. The hire comes after the departure of Kim Caldwell, who was hired to be the next head coach of Tennessee after only 1 year at Marshall. Folks led Transylvania University to the national championship in 2023 and made a Final Four appearance this season. After 10 seasons at Transylvania and 10 seasons at Lewis and Clark College, Folks has accumulated 400 career wins. She is one of 8 head coaches to do so in 20 or fewer seasons. She also led Transylvania to a perfect 33-0 record in its championship season and held a 64-game winning streak. If the board approves, a press conference has been scheduled to introduce Folks at 11 a.m. on Tuesday at the Cam Henderson Center. A pair of Marshall players were given Player of the Week honors by the Sun Belt Conference Tuesday. Bella Gerlach was named Sun Belt Conference Softball Player of the Week after going 8 for 12, hitting 4 home runs, and racking up a total of 11 RBI. Gerlach leads the Sun Belt Conference in home runs with 13 and an RBI with 43. Bryce Blevins was named the Sun Belt Conference Baseball Pitcher of the Week for the 3rd time this season. Blevins is the first to win 3 weekly awards in 1 season in the Sun Belt Conference and is only the 2nd to do so in a career. The highlight of Blevins' pitching this week was shutting out the Texas State Bobcats 5-0. In that game, he also only allowed 4 hits, a walk, and struck out 6. Blevins leads the Sun Belt in innings pitched with 48 1/3, and also leads the Sun Belt and is 15th in the nation with a 1.86 ERA. The Marshall baseball team defeated the West Virginia Mountaineers 3-2 at Jack Cook Field Wednesday in 11 innings. Caden Kaiser had the walk-off single in the bottom of the 11th, scoring Jack Firestone for the winning run. Grant Hussey scored the first run of the game for WVU in the top of the 2nd when he blasted a solo homer to left field. Marshall tied the game in the bottom of the 6th when Trey Andrus hit a double to score Elijah Vogelsong. WVU quickly took the lead back in the top of the 7th when Logan Schwab scored Amani Guzman on an RBI single. Marshall would send it to extra innings when Can Harthen scored unearned in the bottom of the 9th. Chad Heiner was the starting pitcher for Marshall, only allowing 2 hits, but it was Nicholas Rayrich who would receive the win for his relief efforts. The win was his first this season. Marshall is now 10-4 this season at Jack Cook Field and is yet to drop a series or a weekday game at its new home. Marshall will next travel to face Sun Belt Conference foe number 19 Louisiana in a 3-game series. The Marshall football team announced Thursday that it has signed a 1-game deal to face Wisconsin. The game will be the Herd's first of the 2028 season and will be played at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin. The game will be the 2nd meeting between the two in program history, with Wisconsin winning the first meeting in 2008. That's all for the FM88 Sports Report. For FM88 Sports, I'm John Boggess.
Thanks, John. Some college students are flocking to a marriage pact where 2 friends vow to marry each other if they're not hitched by a specific age or date in the future. The pact is an annual matching ritual that has become popular on college campuses around the country, and some have turned that dusty cliche into fun. A few couples have found lasting love with this method, including the PAC's founders, who say the goal is to find people a backup plan for a lifetime match. Unlike dating apps, each student gets just one name, a percentage on the quality of the match, and an email address to reach out. Questions are meant to look for long-term compatibility, and about 500,000 students have participated since the pact first rolled out at Stanford University in 2017.
And that concludes this edition of Weekend Recap. For more news, tune in to 88.1 FM or visit WMUL's website for Newscenter88 weekdays at 5 p.m.
You can also stay up to date on all our new content by following us on Instagram at WMUL_radio and JMC_TV.
I'm Emma Johnson.
And I'm Luke Hamilton. Have a great week.